So it's been an amazing year for silver, and well, I've got these German coins which we're going to talk about in this video. So silver's had a run up. So this is a 50% silver Australian florin, in case you're in Australia and you know this coin. 5 years ago you could get this for about $5 because that was the bullion value roughly back then. Now you'll be paying $20. So 4 years gone up pretty much 300%. It's gone up 4 times, and that's quite a advance. Now a lot of people are saying that this is because of tensions that the United States has put on, because there has been with the current and the previous presidents banning of some countries from using the SWIFT network, restrictions or confiscation of currency. What else? We have the deficit, so there's a lot of printing of currency to be spent. I'm going to talk about banknotes, not coins, because all the coins now these days are just base metal. So we are talking about fiat. So these ones, aluminium coins, have no real value in the metal, equivalent to like 1 pfennig at the time. So that's really the way it is these days. So we have all fiat currencies, so 10 baht from Thailand. It's not 10 baht of metal in that. But even though these silver coins never had 2 florins, 2 shillings of silver in them, they had a little bit less because there was signature and minting costs, but people still accepted it for 2 florins. And there was some inflation, especially when they actually reduced the silver content in 1946. And in the United Kingdom, they got rid of it altogether. So, I was getting out of hand here. Now I've got distracted. Okay, so we're talking about these German coins. So, just remember, also industry could be taken up this silver for production of a lot of things for electronics. So there's a big boom in EVs, big boom in data centers, so that could actually soak it up. And when that data is saturated, there should be a slowdown, and there will be recycling of the silver and all the other metal content. This one's got a die crack, so it's an area you should look for. And also, there's probably a bit of a pump and dump, so people getting excited and just buying and buying and buying. Billionaires are also doing it. Now I'd say that the collectors market is not really affecting the silver because majority of collectors struggle to feed themselves. And they just have excess cash in which they probably do buy some silver. Now we're not talking about millionaires or billionaires who have a lot of excess cash so they can buy substantial amounts. So like me, this took me like 10 years to actually get this in silver for the Germans. Now, am I going to show my entire collection? No, because that is how you tell someone to come and rob me. So anyway, okay, so let's review these German silver coins. So these are the coins, actually not those ones. We just talk about the German Empire. So they issued 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is 6 silver coins. I don't have the 5 mark. I have made a video on it before. Smallest is a 20 pfennig, but that didn't last long. The 20 pfennig was only minted from 1873 to 1877, and then after that, the 20 and 25 pfennig went to a base metal coin. So the silver actually went out of that. So then we have the 50 pfennig, or later on it was changed to a half mark in 1905. So that change it to a half mark allows people to identify it as part of the mark series. Now the 1 mark is the highest coin issued by the actual German government. The 2, 5, 10 and 20 marks were issued by the states independently of the government. although they would have had to base it on the actual demand that they had at the time. Now these are all 90% silver. The 20 pfennig was 1.1 grams of silver. The 50 pfennig half mark was 2.77 grams of silver. The 1 mark was 5.556 grams of silver. So these all should correlate. This will be double, half of that. That's why it's half. The 2 mark is 11.11. So that's, just remember, that's 1.11. This is 11.11, so that's 10 times that. So that's, and this one should be 10 times that. So the half mark is 2.77. This should be 27 grams of silver. Actually, no. Yeah, that's the 2 mark I was talking about. Should be, actually, I don't have a 5 mark, so the 5 mark should be 27. Get myself confused. This one's the 3 mark, which is 16.667 grams of metal, of which 90% is silver. So, but a lot of people just think, ooh, silver, silver, silver. So what is going to happen to these? You used to be able to buy these for about $7-8, but now that the silver content of these ones is in around, it's on the 27th of December, it's $9.26. The silver content of the 20 pfennig, the same date, is $3.71. This used to be like $1. The 1 mark silver content is, looking on Numistar, $18.53. So if you can get this for $18-19 now, that would be, you're really winning. The 2 mark has a silver value of $37.30. And the 3 mark has a silver value of $55, about $56. So this is really, you're not going to get these under whatever the bullion value is. And we could see, yeah, if you can get 50 or less for the 3 marks, but these 2 and 3 marks generally are not sold as bullion. They're sold as numismatic items. These ones you can probably get for bullion. 20 pfennig you're not going to get for bullion because of the limited number. They are numismatic items, which means that there is a different price level. But you need to be careful with silver because you buy it for a certain price, and in a month's time the silver price could actually go down, or it could double. We don't know. This is what the silver market is like. It's always been like this ever since we've removed it from the actual currency, and it's not tied to any certain fiat value. Okay, so the 20 pfennig. So these are all pretty basic coins. They have the denomination on one side, and on the other side we just have the German eagle. Now, as for the mintages, majority of these are actually quite low mintages. So we've got 1974, and that is B mint mark. So that's the Hanover. The 1874, should I say, B mint mark, 9,222,000. So, and a majority of them are in this condition. 1875, we have the D mint mark, so that's Munich, and that has a mintage of a bit over 15 million. So really, that's a fairly common coin. And now you're probably paying at least $20 to $30 that I've seen. Okay, the 50 pfennig, which I don't have, I've only got 2 coins, and these you can get in, you turn it around, and these are the large eagles, and you can also get them in the eagle with the reef. So they started issuing the eagle with the reef on these coins in 1877, and 1877 and before had the eagle and the reef. So there's overlap of years. Okay, as for just the normal one, we've got 1870, they're both 76. This one was part of a brooch, or someone that sold it on the actual coin. And it's called post-mint damage, so it really only makes it bullion. And these are both A mint marks, but as you can see, this one's the one you'd have in your collection. This one's just a bullion coin because of the actual damage on the coin. So 76, we have a, so this is the highest minted of the 50 penny coins with 34.5 million, so really quite a common coin. Bullion value on the 27th of the 12th is $9.26. Then we have the more common half penny coins you're going to come across. So we had, this one's well circulated, 1906, so 1919 is the last year of issue. Then they changed over to an aluminium coin. Okay, so 1919, 1917, so this is during the First World War. They still issued silver coins. It's another 17. We have 1909, and what's that one? That one was 1906. Okay, 1906, you need to turn over for the mint mark. Use A, so that is a mintage of a 29.7 million, so pretty common. This one's not really worth much. 1909, we have a G, so that would put it as pretty low, and the G mint mark is Karlsruhe, and that has a mintage of 606,928. So this one's one of the low mints, so the actual value is actually quite higher than the actual bullion value, so probably about 50 bucks of that. 17, we have G, so Karlsruhe again, and we have D, Munich, and the Munich coin has die crack going through it. So the die crack would add some value on the coin, and also the grade's probably EF, they're almost uncirculated. So if we have a look at the mintage for those coins, once again the Karlsruhe one has 618,000, so this is a low mint coin, and this one probably about 50 bucks as well. Now I'm going to take those off the market and keep them. The D has 978,556, so this is also a key date coin, and it's uncirculated, so really you're probably paying less than, you wouldn't be paying less than 50 bucks for that. And the last one we have is 1919, a mint mark, so also check, and that one has a mintage of 9,123,000, so really you can probably still get this all bullion, and this is the last year of issue of this coin. Okay, then we have the 1 mark, so we have two varieties. Okay, we have the, they call it the small shield, which is used later on, and the large shield, but I like to call it small eagle, large eagle. So we need to divide those up to get an assessment on what coins that we have. Okay, all of these. Okay, it's also a small eagle. So the earlier ones seem to be quite well circulated. So the earliest I have is, where did the coin go? Okay, we see we have oak going around 1874. Now at 1873 the key dates, because they're all pretty much low, and probably a majority were not issued for circulation. And this one is D, has a mintage of 7,779,000. But in this condition, probably as close to bullion as you can get. Okay, it is 75. B mint mark, so that is Hanover. That has a mintage of 7,689,000. So also pretty much close to bullion. And this one's 76. So 75, 76 are pretty common for these coins. 70, because they're high mintage. Okay, 76, A mint mark, so it's Berlin, 17,296,000. So it shouldn't be hard to get in this condition. Getting in higher grades will actually put the value of this coin up. And the last mintage of this large shield or small eagle was in 1887, and then they changed over to the small shield or large eagle. So that is what you're looking for there. And the metal value of these coins is, I'm talking about just the silver, is $18.50 as of the 27th of December. Now that could go up, go down, we don't know. Okay, the more common ones you're going to get are these with the smaller eagle, larger eagle should I say, and smaller shield. And these also would have suffered less from circulation. So we've got 10, 14, another 10, and we've got 15. And here we have the earliest one, which is 1896. So this is the same value of $18.50 as the other one. But that was first minted in 1891. And the majority of them have pretty low mint. So 1896, turn it over for the mint mark. So this is Berlin. Has a mintage of 2,159,782. So still, it should get a higher price than numismatic because the mintage is actually quite low for Berlin mint mark. 1910, we have, just trying to get the actual date up. So that's Berlin. And what's this one? 1910 as well. So they're both Berlin, but this one's in nicer condition than that. Has a mintage of 5,869,535. So it's lower grade than this would be bullion, but these ones have some numismatic value, probably paying $30-40 now for one of these. 14. So this one's a bit more circulated. And we have the E mint mark, which is Mudelhütten in Saxony. That has a mintage of 2,235,000. So during the 1910s, there was quite a lot of these coins minted. So one's probably closer to bullion than numismatic. Last one, 1915. So last coin was 1916F with 306 value, and you're going to command quite a lot of cash for that. And this one's pretty uncirculated. 1915E, that's 2,235,000. So these two coins seem to have the same mintage, either they've mixed the mintage up or they're minted exactly the same. But this one is probably closer to bullion because of the quality, and this one would command more than bullion because of the actual grade. So this is probably VF. This is definitely EF to almost uncirculated. Need it to actually take a little zoom in and just check for wear on that coin. Okay, now the 2 and the 5 mark, in general, you're going to pay a lot more than the bullion value because the mintages are really all over the place. So here we have one that's also part of a brooch, and this one, the bullion value today is $37.30, and a lot of these are actually quite low mint coins. So 1876, first year of issue for this denomination B, so that's Hanover, 3,985,119. So in this condition, you're paying at least $50. Then we have 1893. On this one was minted to 1883, and then the next series was 1891, and this one's quite a well circulated coin, but it still has a lot of value. Probably EF condition, I would say. 1893, a mint mark, has a mintage of 948,000, and because it's a high denomination, a lot of them would have been recycled after the war. And in this condition, you'd be paying at least $100, so that's way more than the actual bullion value. And here we have a pretty uncirculated, 1901, and this one has the two monarchs, so it represents the Kingdom of Prussia, and we have a date 1901, 1701, so that's 200 years of the Kingdom of Prussia. This is a mintage of 2.6 million, and a lot of these coins never saw circulation, so you're going to get it in this grade. And because you can get it in this grade, it's going to reduce the numismatic value than any of these coins in uncirculated condition. And this one, yeah, you'll be paying at least $100 for one of these. And the last coin I have is from a different state, so they're from Prussia. This one is from Bavaria, and this one has Otto, so the king of the Ottomans. Nah, just joking. Okay, this one, they all have the mint mark D because it's minted in Munich, the capital of Bavaria, and the name of Bavaria in German is Bayern. This one has a mintage of 2.32 million. It's the highest minted coin that they issue for this design. You can see it has some damage on the side. That could be probably someone's worn it down. It could also be slightly die clip. But this coin, yeah, at least $100 for that. If you can get it for less than that, yeah, then do. Okay, the free marks, you're not going to get these for numismatic values because they're just an odd denomination, and the mintage is actually quite low. So the metal content's about $56 at the moment. And we have 1910, 1911, and these are pretty similar grade, so EF, and we both have William II, and they're A, so there was no Hanover mint mark for these. So for the 1910 we have 5.59 million, 1911 3.241 million, and really you're going to be paying at least between $100 to $200 for one of these coins, depending where you get it at. And you can see it says Gott mit uns, God is with us, in German. And you can see it doesn't have any Latin on these coins at all. So I hope this helps you with your German silver coins. Just remember, as the market fluctuates with these type of coins, it's going to increase or decrease the value of them, especially the low grade bullion coins that you can see. I have some of those, and let me know down below what you think the silver market is going to do. I know there's a lot of channels on YouTube that are going to put out this silver's going to the moon stuff, but with the market the way it's always been, and you can see this also with the other metals, you got uranium, plutonium, palladium, stuff like that, it just goes up and down like a seesaw.